Hi everyone,
Hi,
I'm Lisa,
I'm Renee.
and together we are the Tapping
Tapping
Duo.
Duo.
You can see I went to Yosemite and I brought us back shirts, so we thought we'd wear them for today's recording. So today we had a couple things we wanted to talk about. One was reality TV, a couple of shows, and the other was a movie that we thought was outstanding. So, Renee, which one do you want to hit first?
Well, let's talk about So You Think You Can Dance. Are you watching it?
I am, and I've been getting very bored by it. I might have a glimmer of hope, but the auditions have been boring. So I'll let you share
I'm not
first.
watching it. I turned it on last night and I turned it off.
Yeah.
So maybe when we get down, I think we talked about getting down to the top 20, I'll turn it back on and see if they've added any other genres besides street and stage.
Right. So they gave a little hint at the end of last night's episode that
Oh, they did?
Las Vegas would be choreography and partnership dancing
Oh,
in
good.
Vegas.
Okay.
And they implied that once they had their top 20, that they would be exposed to other variations of dance.
Good.
But
All
they
right.
didn't list any, and they didn't list any choreographers other than Twitch and
Travis?
Travis. So I'm not quite sure what the future is going to hold. I will say that there was a spunky little 18-year-old boy, a street dancer, last night. He's got tremendous gumption, so I'll be interested to see if he makes it through Vegas. I think I've only seen one tapper, and they totally dogged on him. And I saw, what is that? One ballroom. And he did a partner dance, but he was the only guy, right? He didn't have a partner, but he went through. Maybe I
Okay.
saw two ballrooms, but in any event, the stage people seem to be almost all contemporary. And the street, if I see one more animation, one more crumping, or one more break dancing, I can't tell a difference in any of them. So,
Yeah, that's why I'm not watching it yet.
yeah.
I just want to see the cream of the crop now, and I'm not really interested in the dynamics between the judges.
There is no dynamics between the two.
There's no chemistry there.
None.
You know?
It's Jason and Paula, and then Nigel.
Yeah.
And Paula never says anything negative, and her one attempt to give constructive criticism totally fell on deaf ears, and she was booed by the audience. So she went back to, oh, I really like it. But we were talking today, and the other thing that was interesting is you take So You Think You Can Dance, which we've watched for 11 years, and you compare it to American Ninja Warrior.
Okay.
Right? Totally different thing. Not subjective at all. Tell us about American Ninja Warrior.
Well, I switched from So You Think You Can Dance to American Ninja Warrior because I love the positive. Well, first of all, I love the strength of all the people.
Right.
And their tenacity and their commitment to the strength that it takes to hold on by fingertips and
Yes.
swinging their own body weight around and jumping from here to there and the balance it takes and the risk of danger. I mean, so much of that is, are you going to break your foot or your ankle, knock your head, you know? And I'm sure a lot of that hurts. But I love the narrators who are always positive, and even when the people fall, I know they're disappointed that they fell, especially if they fall early. They get up and they thank the audience for being there, and they've got a whole nother year to wait until they can come back.
Right.
And I love that.
And they're making it strictly on merit, right? Either they make it because they made it through the course, which is the same course everybody has to get through, or they drop, their leg hits, their rear hits the water, you know, the slightest bit of water contact and they're out. But I love the objectiveness of it, that it's just an even playing field. So you should tune in to American Ninja Warrior. It's Monday nights at 8 o'clock.
8 to 10.
NBC, I think, not sure.
Tape it, and that way you can just, if you have a VCR, or
It's all ages, all
what is it?
everything.
It's not VCR. It's
DVR.
DVR.
Yeah.
And you can record it, and you can fast forward through the commercials.
They work so hard, and it's just phenomenal. So
I love that there's more girls,
yes,
you know.
yes.
I told Bob last night, I go, oh, I wish I was 40 years younger. 45 years younger. I would so want to do all that. You know, I just, in my head, I still can.
Yeah, because
No.
they probably train as many hours or more a week as the dancers do on So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah.
Whether they're break dancers or not, they're still dancing like
Well,
crazy.
it's just all that core strength, and
Yeah.
I just love all of it. So
So we wanted to talk about those shows. And then the other thing that we both did last weekend, although separately, was we saw a movie by Pixar called Inside Out.
Well, before we talk about Inside Out, let's talk about Pixar's little video before it.
Oh, they had a short.
It's like 6 minutes long or so,
Yes.
would you say?
Yes.
And it's called Lava You. Lava. It's about a little volcano. Sings about his love of his life.
Yes.
And so make sure you watch that.
Yeah.
That is adorable.
And maybe you can even pick it up on YouTube. I don't know. But it's Lava
Now that
You.
Inside Out's out, maybe you can.
Yeah. Highly recommend.
Lava.
Beautiful
You.
song. It's just
It's
great
played by a
story.
ukulele out in the Pacific seas and the oceans, like over in Hawaii, and it's just sweet.
It has everything. It's stressful and it's loving and it's kind. So it was great. And then Inside Out, of course.
Well, it's right up my alley.
So a brief synopsis is that you're watching the movie from the competing feelings the 11-year-old girl has in her head. Right?
Yep. From birth to 11.
From birth to 11. And then the other characters, too. So what are the 5 feelings that are the focus of this movie?
Well, you have the little blue girl who is sad,
Yes.
and then you have joy,
Yes.
and then you have frustration, who's kind of longish, tall, skinny guy.
Oh, he's fear.
Oh, he's fear, that's right.
He's fear.
He's fear. You have anger, who's a little red guy that has fire coming out of the top of his head, and he has little pants on with a belt. He's
Yes.
very cute.
And then you have green disgust.
And disgust is green, yes.
And she's just a pissy little teenager. No other real way to describe her.
But it was really interesting. It was for adults and kids. I was in an audience filled with adults that had brought their 3 to probably 7-year-olds in, and it was so quiet. And they all wanted one of the stuffed animals or something if they ever make them. They all wanted to go home and get, I want anger. I love how he has fire coming out of his head. Or they got that part of it. And as an adult, it makes sense in your head, all the feelings you have. I noticed I came home after the movie, and I think we spent the evening with your family. And when we came over for dinner, I was analyzing them all night long and watching them, different buttons being pushed in their head on whether or not they were fearful or angry or joyous, or I could just see them switching back and forth, and I kept picturing the movie. So it really gives you permission to be who you are in a very visual way.
Yeah, and it didn't just focus on the feelings of the 11-year-old, because you had the focus, you saw the mom's feelings as she's trying to teach her child something, the dad's feelings when he's interjected in the conversation. So it kind of brought the whole, you had everybody's view and perspective. It wasn't directed just to kids.
Right. It's really worth seeing. I gave it a 10 out of 10 right out of the door.
Yeah.
There's things that happen that you don't expect, but it's really worth seeing. And I'm not a cartoon watcher. I don't know why I went to see this. I don't go see anything. It took me forever to see Frozen, which I never saw it in the theater. I saw it when it came home on a Blu-ray, and I loved it. I thought Frozen was awesome too. But this movie is not Prince Charming saving a girl whose parents have died.
Right.
And even though that's not what happened necessarily in Frozen, because the parents died,
Right.
but there was no Prince Charming saving her,
None
which
at
was
all.
awesome too. But this one wasn't about that. It was about feelings, and I thought, well, I'm such an emotional person, and I feel so much and so deeply, so much of the time, that I really wanted to see this, and it did not let me down.
Well, the one thing that I was just thinking about, both with Frozen and with Inside Out, is you're having more and more women writing and animating, and it's starting to come out in the films, and it's really nice. So Inside Out's for everyone. It's almost a level above your average love story.
Well, her husband Bill, he's always joyous. I mean, he lets everything roll off his back. So he really even liked the movie, which was great. I wasn't sure he would, because he kind of ignores a lot of those other feelings, which is fine. I don't know if he feels them. He's always happy.
Yeah, he works at being happy.
So I give it a pinky up.
Oh, most definitely a pinky up. So go out and see Inside Out. And we will see you next week or later this week. I think we're going to do a tap number later this week. So
We'll see you then.
thank you.
Please share our video.
Bye.
Bye. Comment.